there.
Hi, gorgeous.
I didn't know you were joining us.
It's like I'm learning all over again. It's brand new to me.
Look, that's the beauty of being in the geriatric mode now. We forget everything we knew anyway.
Exactly. Exactly.
Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind, right?
You look gorgeous.
Hi, all.
It's a filter.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to
20 minutes ago, I looked like somebody dragged me off the back of a pickup truck.
Hi, everyone. Hey, Amberly. Hey, Jen. Lisa.
Hello.
Allison. Amy's got her Disney ears on. We got Miss Letitia.
I didn't know it was a costume party, Amy.
Yes, go ahead.
I have a brand new consultant who literally, the ink is still wet, just signing, Lisa, who's joining us tonight.
Congratulations, Lisa, for joining us.
I don't know if she's actually in the Zoom, but I literally just sent her the link. She was so excited, but she was actually on the website signing her agreement as I was trying to explain to her what this was, and she was like, I'm in.
Hi, everybody. So we get a clean recording.
I have it set that it's automatically going to record.
Yeah, so you're going to have to mute everyone, Lisa, where it says manage.
Got it. Ready to go now? Mute everybody?
You can, yeah. So we'll wait. We're just going to wait another minute and we'll get started so everyone has a chance to join us. Very excited about our first call into Step into Success. I love the sound of that, whether you're a consultant or a director or an upper level director. This is all about growing your business and moving up the career plan, which in turn helps you give the gift of Pampered Chef to others and to double and triple your income.
Can I hear
for you and your family?
Oh.
Okay. I think I have 8:33. Does that sound good? All right, we'll wait another. Lisa, you're muted.
I say start on time and honor those who are here right now.
Yeah, but usually we give people a few seconds to join when it's a Zoom call. Okay, so it's 8:33. We'll get going. I just want to welcome all of you to Step. Okay, Lorella's not muted.
No,
Lisa?
I had trouble logging.
Okay, we're good now? Okay. So welcome to our call number 1 into our Step into Success program. Congratulations to all of you for investing in your business and taking time out from your evening tonight and away from your family to spend time on you and your business. I want to tell you a little bit about the program and how it's going to work. It will run for 4 Sundays in a row. Obviously, this is the first Sunday. Next Sunday, I know it's Memorial Day weekend, but I'm thinking that at 8:30 at night on Sunday in the middle of the pandemic, most of us will be where we have been for the past 2 months. So the calls will be recorded if there's ever a call that you can't make, but we strongly suggest that you join us live because there's something magical that happens on a live call. And you also know that you get crazy and caught up and you have every intention to listen to the recording, but sometimes you just don't. And we'll always give you a call to action, something that you can do during the week until our next call comes in. Remember, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, please, the person who invited you to the call, make sure they add you to the Facebook group. We'll be sharing lots of things in there. Okay, so without, Gina is going to do a little screen sharing for me right now. So what are the director requirements? So all of you were added to this call so that you could step up your business, whether you're a consultant wanting to earn additional income, and whether you're a consultant looking to promote to director, or you're an upper level director looking to move up the career plan. All of that means that you're growing your business, you're sharing it with that many more people and blessing them with the gifts of the Pampered Chef, and you're also helping your family by doubling and tripling your income. So in the month, what are the requirements to promote to director? Because some of you are brand new and just signed. Some of you just joined today, and congratulations for being here. So what are the requirements to be a director? And there are some. So in the month that you promote, you will need 5 active consultants on your team in addition to yourself. They can be who you brought in on your team or anyone on your team that brought someone on. You'll need to meet the requirements for personal sales. As a director, you need to sell a minimum of $750, but I will tell you that directors do not ever work to minimums. As a director, you want to at least sell $2,500 yourself. And team sales need to be $5,000. Keep in mind that your team sales include your personal sales. So your 5 team members and you collectively, the 6 of you, have to have a minimum of $5,000. It's not even $1,000 each. These are the minimum requirements to promote to director. A Pampered Chef, we're required to share the minimums at every level of the career plan, but that doesn't mean we focus on them. At Pampered Chef, leaders never work to minimums. That should always be your mantra. In order to have success in the business and be a leader that others will follow, you'll want to be the one setting the pace for your team. A leader sets the pace. If you work to minimums, your team will work to minimums. And you'll find everyone will have more success when you do that. So what are the benefits of directorship? Why in the world would you want to be a director? Someone that's brand new is saying, why would I want to be a director? Here's why. You get a 3% override on your personal sales and your personal team sales. You also earn a 3% override on your first generation sales. So anything that your team sells, you'll earn a 3% override, and it doesn't come out of their pocket. I know a lot of you have said, well, I used to work for a multi-level marketing company and I had to give my director money. The Pampered Chef pays you the override for being a leader. It does not come out of your team members' pockets. You also earn 50 Pampered Chef dollars for every qualified personal recruit. Anyone you bring in that sells $12.50 in their first 90 days, you will earn 50 Pampered Chef dollars to buy whatever you want out of the catalog. Products, business supplies. You earn a cash bonus for every active consultant on your personal team. You earn $10 for everyone on your team that has at least $150 in sales. So if you just promoted to director and you have 5 active consultants, that's an extra $50 just because they all had sales in that month of at least $150. To commemorate your promotion, you'll get a sterling silver necklace featuring our Happy Spoon logo and incentive trip points for each month you're paid at your director level. You'll also receive 250 Pampered Chef dollars for your first time director promotion, 250 Pampered Chef dollars to buy whatever you want out of the catalog. But that's not all. You can qualify to receive a free selection of product samples every season and an increased discount on personal product orders. When you are a director, you have the opportunity, just because you hold that title, to earn both seasons' products. $1,500 to $1,700 in products just show up at your door because you are a director. You'll also be invited to our monthly North American Director Call and Spotlight training calls. And if you promote to director in your first 90 days, if you're someone that's in their first 90 days of business, on top of all of this, you have a $3,000 cash bonus sitting on the table, waiting for you at the home office. And if you don't take it in your first 90 days, Warren Buffett deposits in his bank account, and we don't want that to happen. He has enough money. So when you promote to director in your first 90 days, on top of all of this, you get a $500 cash bonus. 3 months later, when you are still a director, you get an additional $500 cash bonus. And when one of your team members says, hey, I want to promote to director as well, they'll get a $500 cash bonus, and now you get $1,000 because now you've promoted to advanced director. And 3 months later, when they're still a director and they get their second 500, you get your second $1,000 cash bonus. So that's $3,000 in cash waiting on the table with your name on it at the home office. All you have to do, guys, is grab it. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to share with you is a very special guest speaker who I actually love and consider one of my adopted children. I love her like a daughter, and I couldn't be more proud of her. Amy, for those of you that don't know her, Amy Conowall, promoted to, did I pronounce that wrong again? Oh, I got it right this time. Amy Conowall, she'll always be Fash Finder in my book. Amy Conowall joined Pampered Chef on July 15th. 20 months later, she promoted to executive director. So I want to give you a little background. So last April, a year ago, last month, Amy had a team of 7. She was a director. She had a team of 7 people. Her sales in the month of April as an organization were $9,507. Fast forward 1 year later to 2020, and Amy's organizational sales last month, she went from having 7 people to 220 people in 1 year. Guys, just so you know, the year is going to go by no matter what. It depends on what you want to do with it. So in 1 year, Amy went from having 7 people to 220. Her organizational sales went from 9,507 to, you ready? Hold on to your hats. 246, been a long day, $246,000 in sales. That increase is literally off the charts, from 9,507 to 246,000. She went from having 0 directors. It was just her, Amy, the director of her little tiny team. And now 1 year later, she has 10 directors. She probably has more right now. And the chart and the graph hasn't even updated yet because Amy is constantly popping at directors. So without further ado, I would like Amy to come on and share her short journey with Pampered Chef.
Thanks, Sharon. It's amazing. It still doesn't even feel real hearing those numbers to me. So basically what Sharon said, I signed up in July of 2018, so under 2 years ago. I was living in Connecticut at the time and felt like I needed to be part of something. It was my first time away from my family because I'm a girl from Long Island, and it was my first time away, and I was feeling very alone. So I wanted to join something that would make me feel a part of a team. So I signed on with the intention to make a hobby out of it and committed to putting in my $150 every month and to stay active. That was my goal when I first signed on. 1 month later, my husband Rich and I decided to move back to New York, back into my childhood bedroom with our 40-pound dog. So nothing more exciting than being in the room right next to mom and dad with all your stuff and your 40-pound dog. So we were on the hunt for our next house. After 1 day of being in the house with 3 adults and a dog, my why became extremely strong. And I knew that it was at this time I was going to be intentional about booking shows and talking to people about the business. Like Sharon mentioned, I was super intentional because I promoted to director in April of 2019. And then to advanced director, September 2019. Then senior in November, and now exec. And when I first started, I would never, ever, ever have even imagined saying the words executive director. Like, I used to look up to everybody with that title like, oh my goodness, how do these people do this? This is so amazing. And it never, ever crossed my mind. But I would have to say that there are 3 things that I can attribute my team's growth and success to. And the first thing would be being intentional. So when you put your mind to something, it will happen. So if you go into the week and you say, I am going to book parties, you will book parties. If you go into the week and you say, I am going to bring on a consultant, you will bring on a consultant because you're being intentional. It's a priority to you. Another thing I would say is belief. So for those of you that know me, I never had the strongest belief in myself. I never believed that I would ever be worthy of being an executive director or a senior director. I just didn't think it was something that I could ever do. So I've learned so much about myself personally, professionally from Pampered Chef, and my belief is so strong that why not me? Why not me? Why couldn't I be like those people that I idolized? And then the third thing would be momentum. So once you have momentum, just go with it. And it will happen when you're being intentional, when you have a strong belief, the momentum will come and then you just ride it and it will happen for all of you. So my husband and I were able to build this house in Tampa, Florida because of Pampered Chef. So we are no longer in that bedroom next to my parents. And 2 weeks ago, my husband actually got laid off from his job. Without Pampered Chef, we would not be able to stay in this house that we literally just built. So I am forever grateful and so happy and proud of my team for everything that they've accomplished, because there are so many people in the same boat that need this income. So it's taken me 30 years, yes, I'm 30, to come into my own and to become the person that I've always looked up to. And I can say that because of Pampered Chef, I've really, really been able to become the person that I've always wanted to be, and the person that I used to look at Sharon and say, oh my God, I want to be just like Sharon. So I'm now able to say that just because of the amazing people that you guys are surrounded with, soak it all in, take everyone's tips. It will happen for you. Just be intentional, believe in yourself, and then ride that momentum.
Thank you, Amy, so much for sharing. I was so excited to introduce you as my second daughter. Yes, I couldn't be more proud of Amy's promotion to an executive director. Obviously, you heard how successful she's been in less than 2 years. Amy, would you share your paycheck last year in April to this year?
Yeah. So my paycheck in April of last year, I believe it was $2,500, just around $2,500. And my paycheck last month was $20,500.
Okay, is that
Insane.
not the craziest thing? For those of you that have a full-time job, I can't even figure out what percentage of a raise that is. The average raise in corporate America is 3 or 4% a year, and that's a good raise. This is just ridiculous. And all of you on this call, Amy's story could be your story. There is nothing different about Amy, Lisa, Gina, myself that is different from us, that is from you. I mean, honestly, our story could easily be your story. And like I said, a year is going to go by no matter what. So what are we going to put in that dash, like they say, right? Amy, thank you so much for sharing. Your story is so inspiring. Okay, so the next person I couldn't be more excited to introduce, Lisa Noto. Most of you know her, except those that are brand new. Lisa is a rock star senior director in our organization. She's an amazing trainer and an amazing friend. We started this business basically together. I met Lisa at a show, and I thank God every single day for that night and that party, because not only did it bring Lisa on my team.
Are you frozen, Sharon?
I think I might be, I think I'm back again. Yay. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so not only was I blessed to bring Lisa on our team, but Lisa is one of my closest and dearest friends, and I'm so grateful that we're working on this program together. And she is going to share a little bit about booking outside of the show because she is the master at that. Take it away, Lisa.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I'm super excited tonight because I learned how to do a PowerPoint thanks to my friend Gina and my children who have a lot of patience for me. So hopefully you're seeing the screen. It says, get the more you're looking for, let's book. So I have to tell you, I remember as a kid, we used to say, and if you're my age, you'll remember it. If not, then it'll just be a mystery to you. But we used to say, let's book as kids. And that just meant a slang expression for let's go, let's get out of here. We're in a hurry. We got to get to where we're going. And that's what I made myself think about when I thought about bookings today. And I'm here to tell you that I only have 25 minutes. So I'm setting the timer. And I'm going to tell you that if you're listening to this tonight, and this seems to be a repeat of information, and you're not doing it, I want you to think about just going with the flow and doing what we suggest on this PowerPoint tonight, because these are truly the points that work. And sometimes we think we need the magic pill, but it really goes down to the basics of when somebody who has come before you is doing what you aspire to be and do and earn, just do what they're doing. Because when Sharon signed me over 22 years ago, she literally said, just do what I do, because that's what I did when I signed. And I said, okay, I can do that. I don't need to have an original thought. And I just did exactly what she did. And I cannot thank her enough till the day I die. If I thank her a million times, it'll never be enough for the life that she has provided for me, because had she not asked, none of what has transpired in the last 22 years would have happened. So if you're in this business 5 minutes, 5 years, it doesn't matter. Chase your dream and don't wait as long as I did to arrive. Like Amy said, I arrived in my own life because of this job. So we're going to get on with it with bookings. And this call is being recorded, so don't worry about catching every word we're saying, because you can go back and look at the slides on the on the replay. So I'm going to tell you right now that I have to move my screen over here. The supplies that you're going to need, it's kind of like the first day of school. You're going to need time to dedicate to your work. And I will tell you this new thing that I'm doing, it's called shutting off distraction. It is huge. My desk used to look like an air traffic control counter. I used to have my iPad on, my cell phone over here, and I had my desktop over here, and maybe a laptop over there, and I would be constantly looking. Got to shut off the distraction. So if you're working on Facebook, shut off the cell phone and only work on Facebook. If you're working on texting people through your cell phone, shut off Facebook, shut off the television, and go into a quiet space in your house. If you cannot find a quiet space, ask your family what you can work out to get the time that you need. And back in the day, I literally would have to get in my car and drive around the block when my kids were little. And I would literally have to work my business that way, because if you have little children and they know you're home, they're going to knock on the door. So make time for your business and cut off the distractions as you're working for your bookings. We're going to use a notebook and a pen. I'm old school. If you want to do PowerPoint, spreadsheets, or whatever you guys do on the computer, I don't know. I use a notebook and paper and pen. You want word choices that work, which you're going to copy and paste from a document saved on your device or on your laptop or your desktop. You're going to use word choices for addressing objections. Again, simple copy and paste. We're going to need a positive mind and a do it whatever it takes mentality. Amy said it a minute ago. If you have decided to get bookings, decide. Even if you have to lie to yourself, decide. So I have two consultants, one that says I have no bookings and one that says I'm determined to build my business to have at least 4 shows this week. They both started out with no bookings, but it's the person who says affirmatively what they want, because the brain believes what we tell it. Okay. So if we work with distraction, I want to remind you guys, multitasking sounds great on paper, but multitasking steals our time. So if we try to do 2 things at the same time, if we're trying to set up shows and answer texts, it's going to cost us time. So just remember that. Move the distractions out of the way and you'll get things done a lot quicker. So now we're going to tell you 4 parties in a week. Why do we suggest 4 online parties? And I just want to start out by saying I've been a cooking show consultant for 21 of the 22 years. I literally came into the virtual world kicking and screaming. Not only did I not want any part of it, I talked people out of doing it a couple of years ago. And I'm very transparent about that, because when I am wrong, I am going to tell the entire world I was dead wrong about this. And so when we did cooking shows, we did 2 a week because that's all we knew. And 8 was great. 8 made us great. Well, now 4 parties online is what's going to make us better than great. It's going to help us soar to the top. So why do we want to have 4? And here's the important reason why. And this has been proven by top leaders in this company. This is just not something we thought of in our minds. This was proven time and time again across the company with top leaders that this is what works. So 1 of the 4 will likely flop. The host goes off the grid. They just disappear. And maybe it's something legitimate. They got sick or there was a family emergency. Maybe the host is just flaking out or they lost interest. But chances are 1 out of 4 will flop. 1 will be okay, $200 in sales, which is the minimum for the host program. 1 will be very good in sales, about 500, 600, and 1 will be great, 1,000 or better. So what if we only decided to book 1 or 2 in a week? Now, we run the chances that we could get lucky and it could be the 1,000 and the 500 and everything is exciting. But what if we had the 1 that was the flake and 1 that was just the okay? Then it's not so exciting. And we are definitely, because we're human beings, we're going to lose our enthusiasm. So if you're just now starting, I'm going to encourage you to start with 4 and you're going to do it scared. We're just going to ask you to do it scared because you're going to have a lot of support around you. But start with the 4 and then you can always scale back. You know, Sharon used to say to me, try what I'm telling you. What's the worst that can happen? You have a pocket full of money and you have an experience to look back on. But what if you absolutely loved it? You'll already be at the pace you want to be set at. And I've never, ever, ever, ever said to Sharon, I refuse to try what you're saying because you don't know what you're talking about. I say, you may be wrong. I may hate it, but I'm going to take your word for it because you are the most experienced person I know when it comes to people and parties and anything about human beings. Sharon's the master at it all. So I would say to her, I'm going to hate it. I'm going to tell you right now you're wrong, but I'll try it. And I would always come back to her and say, I'm sorry, I should have listened. So start with 4, do it scared, and just trust us because you can always scale back if it's too much. Okay, what not to do. Now, what not to do is equally, if not more important than what we should be doing. So let's not be pushy. Pushy, I feel, is when we go past a firm no. And a firm no is quite different than a no, not now. And sometimes when we get a no, we can be, there are times when intuitively we're very, very sure it's a definite dead end no. It's don't ever ask me again, especially if it's in person, you see the look on the person's face and it's a no. So, you back off. When it's a definite no, thank you so much for being honest. I just wanted to be sure I asked. But what if you're not sure if it's a no, not now, or a no, never? So we always want to come back with, just so I'm sure, is that a no, not now? Or is that a no, you never want me to ask you ever again? And I usually make a little joke about it like that to keep it light. I add an LOL to it because it just says, hey, I'm okay with it if it's a no, never, but let me just clarify it. So if they're like, oh no, I just mean it's a no, not now, I'm getting married or my house is under construction or whatever the case may be, I would say, I'm so glad I asked. Are you comfortable with me checking back? Now, I don't know how many times I would switch the different approaches of how I would word these things and it never came out natural or normal. And then when I just stuck to the same word choices every single time, both verbally and in print, I didn't have to think about it. And it was like singing a song. When a top artist comes on the radio singing a song, they don't sing that hit 15 different ways. They sing it with the same words every single time. So think about these words. Are you comfortable with me checking back? It's very non-pushy. It's very pleasant sounding, and it gives the person a choice to say yes or no. I also want to talk about focusing on the potential hosts and guests and avoid focusing on us. When I used to say back in the day, will you have a party for me or will you help me out? I had a friend that easily pointed out to me, that kind of sounds like it's all for you and not for them. So do you think they take it that way? Like they're doing us a favor and there's nothing in it for the host? And I thought to myself, I need to take myself out of that equation. I need to make it all about the host and all about the guests and never use phrases like, will you help me or will you have a party for me? Because that implies that there's nothing in it for them. And that couldn't be any further from the truth because our host benefit package, I don't know a lot about every single direct sell company, but what I've learned over 22 years, we probably have the most generous one out there. So let's take ourselves out of the equation and not make it about what we need, but what we can do for the host and their guests. Okay, so focus on what's in it for the host and guests. Your friends and family are going to have so much fun coming together over a common interest in this private group. Remember, it's not like regular Facebook. Anybody who participates in this is there because they chose to be there. Now, how many of you have people on your timeline that you could really do without at times? You know, you see what they post and you're like, oh boy. But think about the magnitude of a host being in her own little private party room. You are going to have so much fun with your friends and family in this private atmosphere. For the guests, our guests are going to enjoy product posts, recipes, cooking tips, videos, and games. And maybe you'll even go live and do a demonstration. So the guests are going to think of it in this way. This is, again, just their little private party, and they're there of their own free will. Okay, now we're going on to word choices that work. Now, for many of you, you mean well when you want to say, this doesn't sound like me, so this is nice, and I'm sure this works for Lisa, but this doesn't really sound like me, so I'm going to start out by telling them I just put in a new swimming pool, and then we're going to talk about how I cut my hair off, and it was a big mistake, and then I'm going to go, oh yeah, I just started a business. Maybe you've heard of it, Pampered Chef. And I know sometimes we feel like we need to make the approach that way so it sounds like this, but I'm going to tell you right now, 9 times out of 10, it backfires on us. So we're going to ask you to use a set of word choices that is pretty clear cut and concise. It looks happy. And I want to encourage you to always remember a smiley face emoji in every reach out, because it adds softness. It adds personality. It adds lightness. So in this particular example, I say, hello, Mary. I hope you're doing okay. I'm reaching out to tell you that I just launched my own Pampered Chef virtual business, and I'd love for you to be among the very first hosts I get to spoil with free products. An online party lasts 7 days in a private group I set up and run for you. Your role is just to invite your friends and then take 3 minutes a day at your convenience to copy and paste something that I send you. You and your friends are going to have so much fun viewing the products, the cooking tips, the free recipes, and the fun games. And Facebook allows all hosts to cast a wide net across their friends list. I can set you up on May 22nd, and it runs from Saturday to Saturday. What do you think? Now, I just want you to look at these words. We've addressed, I hope you're doing okay. You reached out to say you started your own business. It's saying you want to spoil them with free products. It's stating that it takes place in an online private group for 7 days. It states that we're doing all the work. It states that if they're about to say they're too busy, it's only going to take them 3 minutes a day. And I want to point out that I've now pointed out you and your friends are going to have so much fun. So by looking at all of this, we've kind of hit a couple of different points. So if they do come back with us with an objection, which absolutely can still happen, we've pretty much addressed the elephant in the room already in the message, because we've covered that it's not going to take a long time. We've covered that it's not going to be happening on her timeline or his timeline. And we've covered it that Facebook is going to allow a much wider net than anybody they would invite to their home. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm getting a lot of no responses. I hear that a lot, and that's totally normal. Can you please show me a business that this does not happen to? Every single time somebody walks in and out of a car dealership, it's a no. Every time somebody passes an item on a shelf in a supermarket, that's a no. Anytime somebody passes an email that's in their email inbox offering 50% off Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Old Navy, that's a no. So it's normal that we get no's, but it's not going to stop us. So when we get a no, especially when we're starting out and it's from the people that we hold dearest in our lives, our friends and family, we take it as a personal rejection, and really we shouldn't, because the no is not a rejection of us, it's a rejection of what we're asking or offering. So first I'm going to ask you, check your wording. And I've reviewed so many different word choices with consultants that if a consultant tells me that they're working super, super hard and they're not seeing the results, the first thing I ask is to see a screenshot of the last 5 people they've invited, because maybe they just missed something and it just needs a little tweak. The length of the message, as brief as possible. Again, you're not going to do it in 1 or 2 sentences, but don't write 3 paragraphs, because if it takes 1 or 2 more scrolls than just 1 scroll, it's too long. Clarification. When we have an objection, and we're going to get onto that next, we have to clarify, is that a no, not now, or a no, never, because we can lose valuable leads that way. And we have to ask for permission to follow up. Now, when we do get a no, not now, and we say, are you comfortable with me checking back? And they say yes, and we find out what time frame that looks like. I'll give you an example. Someone would say, back in March, someone would say, oh, check with me over the summer. And then, you know, we'd be like, oh, okay, let me get my lead notebook and I'll write that down. Well, summer runs from May to September. At what point in the summer am I checking back? So let's say she says, check back in June. Well, June has 30 days. At what point am I checking back in June? So I would say to my potential host, I want to check back when it's comfortable for you. So what time frame does that look like? And if they're vague, I say, could we narrow it down to a certain week of that month? And that's what goes in my notebook. So when you say check back in the fall is 3 months long. What part of the fall do you want to be checked back in? Okay. Now, Amy said it before, committing to a certain number of bookings and deciding you're going to do it no matter what. And those 3 words, no matter what, it's kind of like if you have children at home or you've raised your children and they came home with homework, it wasn't an option. I mean, maybe they could get out of doing it for a little while, but you let them play video games or go outside. But when it came time to getting that homework done that day, it was a non-negotiable assignment. They had to get it done. So make it non-negotiable with yourself about doing the booking work. And I'm going to tell you right now, this trick works for me. It may sound ridiculous to somebody else, but it always works for me. I play a game with myself and say, I'm going to pay myself $1 for every single person I message, regardless of the outcome. Because I know that when I message 30 people in a day, there's something that's going to come out of it. So let's say I just got one booking out of 30 people. Some people may look at that as a giant ripoff of time. I look at it as, I just earned a booking that it's going to earn me income. It's going to earn me future business, possibly a new teammate. And so would I rather have $30 for 30 reach outs, or would I rather have the commission and the future business from what that took me? Now, I make a joke of this, but when I say copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, you're literally going to sit at your computer, have a few tabs open, your Word document tab, your Facebook open, and maybe your Messenger open, and you're going to copy and paste, boom, copy and paste, boom. Don't sit here and scroll through your list going, oh, she's not going to have a party. She's never doing anything for me. Oh, and this one, oh, I haven't talked to her in 15 years. Oh, and this one, forget this one. I mean, we all look at that list and we predetermine who will and who won't. But I'm begging you to please, 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 if you're already expecting the no, do it anyway, because you're going to have surprises. And I see people on this call tonight that have said to me, oh my goodness, I was terrified to do what you said, but I did it and business came out of it. And I'm a fan of the phrase, if at first we do succeed, let's not act surprised, okay? So commit to a certain number of reach outs until we have the number of bookings we need. Now, some of the people on this call do 2 shows a week, and that's fine. Some of you do 12 shows a week, and that's fine. You have to set your own goals, because if we don't set a goal, we don't have an end result to reach for. So how do we know as we're working and working and working? You know, I'll have somebody say to me, oh, I had to do 10,000 steps today on my step counter. And I said, well, how did you know you did 10,000 steps? And they said, well, I was tracking it. But when we look at our business, if we're not tracking what we're doing and looking for an end result, how will we know when we arrived? So please commit to a certain number of reach outs just until you have enough business for that week and the week following. So when I literally have a massive goal to set for myself, I will literally copy and paste and reach out to 30 people per day until I have what I need. And that could be literally 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, 10 minutes at night. Okay, how to handle objections. This is probably my favorite subject of all time, because this is something I had to really get good at a cooking show. And I laugh because, you know, now we're in technology, so we don't have to answer right then and there. We can screenshot and ask Sharon what we should say, or our successful friend, what should we say? But at a cooking party, when somebody said something to us, we had to be on the money and have that answer prepared face to face. So this was an area I had to get good at full service checkout at a party, because valuable business was going to slip through my fingers. So let's go on to the first one. It's probably the first one given in this situation for COVID is my friends have no money, or money is tight, or myself or my spouse lost their job. Common objection. I always start out with a validation. Thank you for being honest. You're certainly not the first to tell me that. And then in this particular situation, I say, the best thing about a Facebook party is we can cast a wide net, so you will not be relying on the very closest friends that you may already know their personal situation. So if you weren't concerned about who would participate, would you be willing to give it a try? Smiley face. The smiley faces, guys, I cannot emphasize it enough. If we send a smile, it's always going to lighten up the mood. So guests will appreciate the tips, the recipes, and the games. Anyone who can't shop can even book a free spree of their own. And if absolutely no orders come in, Pampered Chef is going to give you an unlimited 10% off all orders, really with any consultant, for 1 full year as a thank you. What do you think? So when we put it to them this way, and I'm not saying it's 100% yes every single time, but at least we're not leaving valuable business on the table because we're not being thorough. So we want to validate because they may have 2 very close friends that are in dire straits financially, and that's a very real situation. But think about the person who doesn't have the money to spend, but they can host. I said to somebody the other day, how cool would it be if we host with your friend who lost their job and we can load their kitchen up for $5.70? And she said, what's $5.70? I said, the shipping to send all her free things. She doesn't have to spend a dime outside of $5.70. She's like, that would be amazing. That would cheer her up so much. She had a $1,600 party. I'm too busy. Now this one's laughable on Facebook because honestly, you know, you're too busy for Facebook. And among consultants, you know, we laugh at this, but there are people that literally don't go on every day, and that I respect. So for the people that are truly busy, I say, thanks for being honest. You're certainly not the first to tell me that, smiley face. I hope it's all good things keeping you busy. And that wouldn't be right now for COVID. I would probably say, I hope it's all just positive busy, you know, because we're not really having fun in a pandemic, but I hope it's all positive things. So would it help you to know that online parties are designed for busy people? Your role as the host will literally take 2 to 3 minutes a day, and that's at your convenience. I'm going to do 99% of it. Does that help? So when the host realizes, oh, I don't have to be on all day or come up with my own content, like it's just clearing up any fallacy that they may think that is much more time consuming than it needs to be on their end. Now, yep, okay. This is my favorite screen because Gina's putting in a new pool. Sharon wants a new kitchen. My kids would have gone to Disney if the thing wasn't canceled. I love money. I love cars, and nobody wants any credit card debt. Oh, and I got some college situation here. So what will drive us all to work our business? For some of us, it's for the friendships and the products. For some of us, it's for the income. For some of us, it's a sense of community and belonging to something bigger than us. Whatever you came into this business for or stayed in this business for, it should fill a need in your life that makes you so happy and so excited that it literally keeps you up at night. And I want everybody to know that, yes, the money pays the bills. The mortgage gets paid and the commitments financially in all of our lives, those financial commitments have to be met. But what happens after the bills are paid? What makes you smile from ear to ear? What makes you feel certain about the future? Is it money in a 401k? Is it leaving money in the bank for your children or your grandchildren? Is it paying off your mortgage early? Is it driving the car you've always dreamed of but never could afford? Is it finally being able to put an extension on the house or a pool in the backyard, or maybe pay for, travel baseball or something like that? But think about what it can do for you and your family that is so exciting that you lay awake thinking about it at night. Now, I'm very transparent. I love things. I love cars. I love pocketbooks. I love jewelry. But I also love the fact that I can go down the hall and say to my daughter, guess what? I'm easing some of your college burden, because I never thought I could do that. I don't have a day of college. I am not a professional person, and I always worked for what somebody else thought I was worth. I did not have unlimited income potential. So as you look at your booking situation, if you're scared to do the 4, I'm just going to ask you to trust the advice of doing it scared. Hold yourself accountable. Take the word hope out of your vocabulary, because hope is for the weather, the lottery, and in my case, the bathroom scale. Okay? So I want you to know that hope is not a plan. Hope is something reserved for things out of our control, and bookings are 1000% within our control. So hold ourselves accountable to the same high standard we hold our children, our spouses, our loved ones. And guess what? You are going to arrive in your future probably the happiest person on the face of the earth. And not even Disney can deliver that. Thanks, Sharon.
Okay, Lisa, that was amazing. And people are messaging me and in the group message, in the chat, saying the same thing. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. So next we have Miss Gina. Gina, congratulations, just promoted to executive director. Gina and I started this journey. Can you guys hear me? My internet keeps flashing weak. Can you guys hear me?
I feel bad. I'm supposed to introduce Gina. I feel bad. I was supposed to.
Yes, go ahead, because my internet is failing.
Okay. I would like to introduce my dear, 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 dear friend, Gina Oliveri. And Gina and I started just about a year and a half apart in Pampered Chef. And Gina's just one of those people that you meet her, you want to hug her and kiss her and love her to death. She is the sweetest person on two legs. And Gina has just done the most amazing work in her personal business. And she really inspired, she was one of the people who inspired me to be better at virtuals. And she just promoted to the esteemed level of executive directorship. And I could not be prouder and happier for her, because I've been with her through every single year of her business. And she is just someone that everybody needs to follow. Take it away, Gina.
Thank you, my friends. Hi, everybody. So I am just going to do a quick screen share here, and it's really relative to making sure that you book your 4. And we have, Pampered Chef has a successful formula that we really encourage everybody to follow, which is for every 4, add 1 more. So that's every 4 parties that you book, you're going to add 1 more team member to your team. So what we're going to ask you to do, I'm just going to do a screen share, and some of you, just give me a thumbs up if you could see this. You guys see this? Yes? Okay, good. I'm getting the thumbs up. Okay, good. Some of you may already use this, but if you don't, we're going to ask you to use this especially while we're in this program, but it's something that you really want to do all the time, because this is going to keep you on track for making sure that you really, really shoot to book your 4 parties a week. And this is just an example. I kind of plugged in, and if you do pull it up you can find this in Dash, by the way. If you pull it up, you can, type in your host names and the dates. But what this also does is this is going to also remind you about how you want to ask your host 5 times throughout the party about joining the business. And we always say our hosts are our #1 recruit lead, because she loves the products. She's hosting the party. Like many of us on this call tonight, we're here because we hosted a party. This also is going to give you the opportunity to write down maybe that person, 1 or 2, that's going to stand out. And, that's that rock star guest, the person that maybe asked some questions on the business opportunity post that you have. And then, of course, you'll see here that it has 3 columns for you to book your 3 bookings, because that's always our goal, is we want to always try to get the 3 bookings. Okay. So what we're going to ask you to do is fill this out tonight. What I'm going to do is you guys can find it on Dash, but I'm also going to post it on the group. And we're going to ask you to fill it out with what you currently have on your calendar right now. Okay. And then you guys can just send a snapshot picture to your director, so that we know how to help you. We know how many more parties do you need to add to your tracker so that you meet that goal. And I am going to tell you guys, exactly what Lisa said was correct. When you do run the 4 and you start to add multiple parties, you are not going to feel that party that maybe only hits the 200, or like Lisa said, the host just, ghosted you, whatever may happen. Trust me when I tell you, you are not going to feel that. It's going to be, oh, well, I have one of those running this week right now with all the parties. It is not, it really doesn't matter to me. I mean, I feel bad for the host because she didn't get host rewards, but it's not stinging as much because I have my other parties to rely on. And when you start to run multiple parties, you're going to see, I'm going to stop the screen share now. You're going to see things explode. Things are going to explode. What's going to happen is you're going to get into a routine of using your systems that you've put into place, and things will run so smooth. So when you have the multiple parties, that means you're going to have that many more sales. You're going to have that many more bookings, okay? So you're not going to have to do as many reach outs because you're getting the bookings from the parties. And you're also going to start building a team. You're going to have your host sign on and the guests at the party. So everything is going to explode, and that's exactly what had happened for me over the past 2 years since I really jumped into the virtual world. Now, the one thing that I am going to say, you see there's 5 boxes that were on that sheet, and that's for you to remind you to ask your host the 5 times. I'm just going to touch on the first time, because we're going to get into that a little bit further next week in the call. But before you even start your party, think about it. How many of you ask your host before you start the party if she's ever considered being an online consultant? Okay, and you know, here's just some words that you can easily say to her, whether it's on the phone or through a message, and you can just say to her, hey, before I get your party set up, this may be totally out there, but have you ever thought about being a Pampered Chef online consultant? Because we could easily switch your party to be your launch party, and you'll get to double dip. You'll get the host rewards, and you'll get the commission from it. And I'll run it for you. What do you think? Okay, now you're going to have some people that say, oh no, I just want to really host a party. But like I think Lisa said before, when somebody says yes, you know, don't fall off your seat, because they will say yes. They'll say, you know what, I have been thinking about it. What do I have to lose? And just take it from there. And like I said, we're going to get further into the other ways. We're going to give you the words that you can say to, and you can message to them, because you do want to ask them at different levels of the party about joining the business. Okay, so track, guys, you want to track, like Lisa said, your leads. You want to track, see where you're going, see if you have enough people that you've reached out to. And then here is where you want to track your parties that you do have on the calendar. Just looking at that is going to make you know that you have enough parties for the month. Okay. And what do we have next, Sharon? Okay, so now actually we're going to bring it back to Sharon, who is going to talk a little bit about, actually we have a slide, right, Sharon?
We do.
We do. Hold on, guys. It's coming. 1 second. Okay. Okay, can you guys see that? I don't have a title.
No,
Okay.
there's no slide.
There's no slide. Hold on, hold on.
I leave the technology to Gina and Lisa for a reason.
How
Here we
about
go.
now?
Yes, there is a
Okay.
slide.
Okay.
Okay, so, you know, here's the thing. You guys can continue to do your parties, and that's great. Or you can share the business opportunity and watch your businesses explode like Amy's did. But I want you to remember, you're also blessing somebody else's life by sharing the business opportunity. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on this month. If you guys don't realize, this is an incredible opportunity because somebody can join for free. Let's use the mid-size kit as a perfect example. It's $159. Literally, they will get back 100% of what they invested. So if you had a host that took a $50 kit credit, when he or she gets to $2,500, they will get a 100% rebate on whatever they spent on the kit. In addition to that, look at what's in that kit. That mid-size kit has over $700 worth of products. They're going to get that for free. At the $2,500 level, they'll earn their new consultant rewards, which is over $200 in free products. And we're in the free-for-all. So they'll earn level 1 and level 2 of the free-for-all. And then we go into June and they can continue adding to their free-for-all. This is in addition to the commission. At a $2,500 level, they're earning at 24%. So on $2,500. So guys, this is the greatest opportunity. And I'm sure most of you are aware of the fact of how many people are unemployed right now because of the pandemic. Think about who you know that lost their job, that might have been furloughed, that their spouse or significant other. You can turn on the news every day and see people waiting online at the food banks. By joining Pampered Chef and signing up for direct deposit, they can get a paycheck in 2 weeks. People don't even have money for essentials right now. They can't even buy food for their family. So I want you to think about who could benefit from this opportunity right now. Texting them tonight or first thing tomorrow. I want you to brainstorm, as the slide says. Take out a piece of paper. If you're young, you're going to freak and say, paper? We don't use paper anymore. You can write it on your phone. But if you're my age, take out a piece of paper. Write it in a notebook.
Write on your money. Write it on your money.
Who needs extra income? Who needs a little more fun in their life? Who has a situation that may be similar to yours? Maybe you know someone that wants to be a stay-at-home mom, somebody whose hours got cut. Who would you love to work with? Do you have a best friend? Any past or upcoming hosts? What about any rock star guests that were on a party? And we're going to talk about that next week and how you approach those people. Who do you know that's always on Facebook? We all have friends that they're always on Facebook. No one will ever take offense if you reach out to those people and say, Laurel, this may be the furthest thing from your mind, but I don't know if you know that I just started selling Pampered Chef and I absolutely love it. I've only done one party, but I keep thinking about how great you would be at this. I know you're always on Facebook. You're so good at it. Have you ever thought about doing anything like this? Do you think that Laurel is going to hang up the phone and say, the nerve of her, I can't believe she even asked me that? Of course not. It's a compliment when someone says, I think you'd be really good at this. So nothing bad could ever come out of offering the opportunity to someone. It's a compliment. Some people go through their lives never getting a compliment. So I want you to make that list in addition to the list of who you're going to reach out to book a party, like Lisa gave you the words for that. And the second list is who you're going to offer this business opportunity to. And here's a little script that we put together. Hi, Jana. I'm so excited to share that I've been invited to a leadership development program with Pampered Chef. I was asked to think about the people who benefit from this business, and I thought of you right away because. And it could be because I know you just lost your job, because I know you're always on Facebook, because I know you love Pampered Chef, because I know you love to cook. Whatever it is, I know you were trying to get enough money to send the kids to sleepaway camp. Whatever it is about them, I was curious if you'd be up for learning more about earning extra income or adding a little more fun in your life. And guys, if you're brand new and that person says, tell me a little bit more, you reach out to the person that invited you to this call because you're not expected to know the answers. You're brand new. And we will do a three-way call with you and your friend. We do them all the time. It's part of what we do. So believe me, you don't have to get nervous. Oh my God, I'm not going to know what to say. We'll show you what to say. You'll listen in. And by the second or third three-way call, you'll be able to do it on your own. It's really not that hard. It's speaking from your heart. But the first step is to reaching out to those people that you know could use some extra income. And God knows right now, there are so many people that need extra money. Okay, so I know we gave you a lot of information and we have a lot more to share next week. But right now, we just wanted to see if you guys had any questions. You can type them in the chat if you do. I know
Sharon, I have a
someone
question.
had one for Lisa. Lisa, how do you handle a no message? After you provided the message, do you take that as a no?
How do I handle just when they say no without a reason?
If they don't reply to the message, do you take that as a no?
Oh, great question. And I'm sorry I didn't cover that. So in my lead notebook, the reason why I write everybody down is because if I didn't see a response, I go back and look at my list and go back into Messenger. So if somebody read the message and didn't respond, I used to think the nerve of these rude people. And then Sharon said to me one day, benefit of the doubt, they could be at a red light, they could be going into a meeting, maybe they're at the doctor's, maybe their dog just threw up, maybe their kid just got hurt. And I was like, all right. So we came up with this strategy of, again, with my smiley face, hey, it's me, smiley face, just checking in to see if you got my last message. LOL, never trust technology. And again, it's just a friendly, light way to check back in. And 9 times out of 10, the person's like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I got distracted. Because Sharon told me a long time ago, we're not the center of their attention. And I was like, we should be, but we're not. And we know we're not priority. But when someone reads it, and we automatically go to that place in our mind that it's, oh, they hate me, that felt disgusting, I'm never doing that again. That's in our mind. That's not reality. So checking back in with lightness, with smiley faces. And if you take nothing away from this call tonight, please take that you will put a smiley face emoji in all of your messages, unless you're offering condolences. Because if we don't add that smile, it's not adding the personality and the lightness. And the okay if you say no. It's the okay if you say no. And here, I got to tell you, there's a company called goforno.com. Yes is the destination. No is how we get there. Because if you've given birth to somebody, that child has capitalized on the word no. You've said no to that child a million times until you finally broke down and said yes. So look at that word no. Is it a no, not now? Or is it a no, never? Did they read the message? Can I give them the benefit of the doubt? So just check in and ask. And they may read it again and still not answer. And then I'm going to 48 hours later go back. Okay, you won the lottery and you're off sailing the Caribbean. What's going on? LOL. And then they'll answer you. Or produce a doctor's note. Okay.
Lisa, if someone doesn't ask you 3 times, do you let it go? They don't answer you?
If they don't answer me 3 times, it's not necessarily that I don't like write them off forever and ever and ever, but I just keep going because here's the thing. I never stop. My books have hundreds of people in them. I don't ever stop and focus on who didn't answer me. I just keep going. But if I feel like, if I personally feel like, you know what, he or she is out, that's my choice. But that doesn't mean that they need to be crossed off the list because they didn't answer you. It just, no answer is literally no answer. It's not a no.
Great answer. So Dana, you have a question. Where's Dane? Dana.
It's not so much that I need the answer right now, and this is my biggest issue, is my organization and systems. And I feel like I get all over the place, and I feel like I need to see, like, people have invited me to, added me onto their parties, and a lot of people have, but I feel like I'm a little all over the place, and I need systems in place to keep me organized. I think my success is a lot of luck, not necessarily based on the other. And I've been, the last time I was on, I think Gina's virtual training call, I changed my things up. I know, Lisa mentioned something about doing games, but I feel like I need a better flow for the recruiting, for the booking of the shows. I feel like that's where I fall short to that follow-up piece to kind of solidify the deal and for the recruitment on the guests and booking shows. And I don't need that answer now, just something if you could think about for the future for this program.
Oh, can I answer that really quick?
Yes.
Can I answer that? Dana, what you're feeling is totally normal and natural. And I feel like when we work from home, we don't have the ability to close an office door and shut off the rest of the distractions at home. But what I will tell you is when I went through this, I decided I wasn't going to focus on 4 things at once. If Tuesday from 1 to 3 was bookings, that's all I worked on was bookings. And I did not do another thing until I filled my calendar. And so sometimes when we try to do a little bit of everything, we get nothing done or we feel like we make no progress. So I want you to think about making a hair appointment, making a nail appointment, making a doctor appointment. You're focused only on that thing at that appointment. So make an appointment with your business and compartmentalize it. So Monday could be about your bookings. Tuesday could be about your team. Wednesday could be about following up with customers to ask how they've enjoyed their products. Thursday might be all about your template. Let's get this template in order and see if I can get rid of something and add something of value. So compartmentalize the tasks in the business and literally shut the phone off. Reducing the distraction has been huge for me. But yes, part of us working from home is going to be feeling a little cray-cray, you know.
And I'm definitely very cray-cray. It's even harder now. And I don't know if if other people are feeling it. You know, I am a school social worker, barely in front of my computer, now to doing virtual counseling all day long, then going into Pampered Chef. It's like, you know, and I love this business and I'm definitely don't want to give it up, but I feel like I want to throw my computer out the window at 2:00. So that's just all like, and that is good advice. I do have to compartmentalize and I do have to be organized and I do have to do all that. And I'm going to.
And we're never going to let you go, Dana. So don't even go through that. Okay.
Guys,
Okay,
I will add to that you do have to have a system, and whatever system works for you, stick with, but you definitely do have to have a system. And once you get that system that you're comfortable with, it really, really makes everything flow. And, you know, we'll probably get into that during the next few calls too.
Okay.
But, you know, it's really, really important to have that.
Okay, so here's the system that I'm going to tell you, Dana, and for each and every one of you on this call. A long time ago, the Pampered Chef sent me to Canada to speak at their national conference, and I took a workshop from one of their top leaders, and I felt the same way that Dana and a lot of you probably did. And she said something to me that really stuck with me, and I do it every single day. The most important thing is to work on your personal business first, especially if you have a consultant on your team, or 1 or 2 or 3, or you're a director on this call, or you have a full-time job, whatever it is. And so maybe you go to your full-time job every single day and you can't work on your personal business first thing in the morning. Then when you get home or after dinner, whatever works for you, if you're not someone that's home during the day, you need to put your business first. You need to book your shows. You need to follow up with your recruit leads. You need to work on Dana's personal business first. And then you can go on to customer care. Then you can, because the bookings are the lifeline of the business. They need to be worked on first and foremost, because if you don't have shows on your calendar, you don't have a business. So all the training that you do on Dash won't really matter if you don't have any shows on your calendar. So if you need to book parties, that comes first.
And no one with 12 bookings is ever in a bad mood.
Right, exactly. So you need to work on your business first. How that fits into your day, Dane, you have to figure that out. If you have small children, you know the mornings are hectic for you, but in the afternoon they watch a video or whatever it is, or they're in school when school goes back or whatever. You need to work on your business first. And it's not being selfish. That's what you have to do. If you have to say to your family, you know, for an hour from 7 to 8, once a week or twice a week, whatever you need, you know, honey, I need to go in and work on my business. You need to take care of the kids, or you need to put on a movie, or you need to play in the backyard with them. There's nothing selfish about saying, I own a business and we invested in this business and I need you to help me with this, or, you know, to yourself. If you're not married or there is no significant other, I owe it to me to go work on my business right now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Work as hard for ourselves as we would for someone else.
Right? We say it all the time. People show up for their full-time job every single day. Even if they hate it, they get a pit in their stomach every Sunday night, but they show up every single day. I will never work harder for somebody else than I will for myself. Okay? All right. So to be respectful of everybody's time, I'm going to ask you, if you have any questions that we didn't answer, post them in a Facebook group. I promise you that we will answer them. But I know it's late. Some of you have work tomorrow, and I want to respect all of your time. Thank you so much for joining us. The last thing we wanted to leave you with is to make a notebook or electronically, however you want to do it. The leads that you're going to follow up with to book parties and the leads that you're going to reach out to share this business opportunity. Your call to action is to book 4 parties by next week's call. 4 parties. Some of you will do that in 15 minutes, but you have a week to book at least 4 parties.
Is that in the same week or spread out?
We'd like you to book 4 parties for next week, the way you shared 4 a week.
So I wanted you to clarify 4 bookings in the same week.
4 bookings. 4 will get you 1 more, okay? 4 is the magic number in the virtual world. And we want to leave you with this one last thing. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. You all invested in yourselves tonight. Yay. You came to this call. You locked your children somewhere in the closet. You left your spouse or significant other, and you invested in you.
You locked your spouse in the closet.
Maybe you locked your spouse in the closet with the kids. I don't know. But you invested in yourself. This week will be a transformation if you make those lists and you follow what we tell you. And we can't wait to see you next Sunday. Post all your questions in the group. That group is going to be our personal chat. So we're looking forward to hearing from you every week. Remember to fill out the tracker that Gina shared. Every 4 will get you 1 more. And keep sending, you're going to send a snapshot of that, what you have now, to your director or the person that invited you to the call. And then as you add them, we want to see additional pictures. We want to celebrate every little accomplishment that you make this week. You added 1, you added 2. We want to see that. Send us a snapshot, or you can post it in the group as well and tag us. All right, everybody, have a great week. Here's to booking lots of shows and sharing the business opportunity. Love you guys. See you next week.